When rumors first broke that pop superstar Katy Perry was getting close to none other than former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the internet practically stopped breathing. A world-famous singer and a world leader, two people from completely different galaxies, suddenly being linked romantically? Yeah, it sounded like a fever dream. But then came the photos. A sunny yacht off the coast of Santa Barbara. Katy, in her signature vintage shades, Trudeau smiling beside her. The chemistry was undeniable, and the story explosive. Just months after both ended long-term relationships, these two found themselves crossing paths in the most unexpected way. What started as a friendly meeting in Montreal quickly spiraled into something the world can't stop talking about, because let's be honest, a pop icon known for California girls and a politician who once ran an entire country? That's not just gossip. That's history in the making. But how did this all begin? And who made the first move? Let's start at the very beginning, in Montreal, where this surprising love story first took flight. It all started quietly. Almost too quietly. Back in July, Katy Perry was in Montreal during her Lifetime's tour, laser-focused on performing, healing from her breakup with Orlando Bloom, and balancing life as a single mom. Meanwhile, Justin Trudeau, freshly separated from his wife Sophie Gregoire, was living life away from the political spotlight for the first time in years. No one expected their worlds to collide, but that's exactly what happened. According to reports, the two first crossed paths in Montreal. They were spotted taking a casual stroll with a dog, grabbing drinks at Tavern Atlantic, and later sharing dinner at Le Violon, one of the city's trendiest hotspots. On the surface, it looked like a friendly night out. But to those who were there, the chemistry was unmistakable, and just 2 days later, Trudeau was seen again, this time sitting in the crowd at Katy's concert at the Bell Centre, smiling like a man who'd just found something. Or someone. Worth chasing. It was one of those moments that fans didn't pay much attention to, until months later, when the pattern became clear. Because when a former world leader flies across borders to see a pop superstar again, it's not politics anymore. It's personal, and that's when the real story began to unfold. From the moment they met, insiders say Justin Trudeau was hooked. According to sources close to the pair, the former prime minister didn't just let the connection fade, he chased it. After their time together in Montreal, he reportedly flew all the way to California to see Katy Perry again during a break in her Lifetime's tour. That's not exactly a casual visit. People who know them claim Justin was pursuing her since July, and that he's been very respectful but clearly smitten. He said to admire Katy's creativity and boldness, a spark that feels far from the structured, diplomatic world he used to live in. And for Katy, this wasn't something she saw coming. After her long and emotional split from Orlando Bloom, romance wasn't on her radar. She was focused on her music, her daughter, and her sanity. But love, or whatever this is, doesn't always wait for the perfect timing. When word got out that Trudeau had been visiting her on the West Coast, the internet exploded. Fans didn't know whether to be shocked, impressed, or completely baffled. Memes flooded social media. Some joked it was the most diplomatic love affair in pop history. Others couldn't believe it was real at all. But here's the thing. This wasn't a fling hidden in whispers. It was two high-profile people openly meeting, traveling, and supporting each other's passions. Still, everyone had one burning question. What made Katy Perry, a woman known for her fiery independence, give Justin Trudeau a chance? The answer lies in where she was emotionally. Because when you hear what Katy revealed next, it changes everything. When the world saw Katy Perry smiling beside Justin Trudeau, many forgot the emotional storm she had just weathered. Only months before, Katy had finalized her split from Orlando Bloom, a relationship that had defined nearly a decade of her life. They shared dreams, heartbreaks, and a daughter, Daisy, who became the center of their universe. The breakup wasn't explosive, but it was heavy. A joint statement from their reps made it sound calm and civil, but behind the scenes, sources said Katy was struggling. She was balancing motherhood, a world tour, and the pressure of maintaining her image as a pop icon. Love wasn't even on her to-do list. That's why when Justin entered her orbit, it caught her completely off guard. According to insiders, their first meeting in Montreal was casual, just two people connecting over shared ideals and humor. Katy admired his intellect and compassion, while Justin was drawn to her energy and fearlessness. They talked about art, activism, and the weight of fame. It wasn't about politics or power. It was about understanding. Still, Katy was cautious. She wasn't looking for another public relationship, especially one that could spark headlines across 2 continents. But Justin's patience, his calm persistence, made her pause. As one source put it, he didn't rush her. He just showed up and kept showing up. And slowly, that consistency broke through her emotional walls. By the time they reunited in California, Katy was no longer just the superstar with a packed schedule. She was a woman rediscovering what it felt like to be seen again. Not as an icon, but as a person. But as her heart began to open, another challenge loomed ahead, one neither of them could avoid: the world's reaction. Because when photos of that yacht kiss surfaced, the story took a dramatic turn. For Justin Trudeau, this connection with Katy Perry came at a pivotal moment, a quiet chapter after years in the political spotlight. When he stepped down as Prime Minister, the public saw a polished goodbye. But behind closed doors, insiders say Trudeau was exhausted. The years of scrutiny, the controversies, the relentless expectations. It all left him searching for something more personal, something real. His separation from Sophie Gregoire in 2023 had marked the end of an era. Together, they had built a public image of unity, compassion, and leadership. But after nearly 2 decades, their marriage simply couldn't keep pace with the lives they had grown into. They remained loving co-parents. But privately, Justin was struggling to rediscover who he was without the title or the cameras. So when he met Katy, it wasn't about status or publicity. It was about renewal. Sources close to him say that being around her brought out a lighter side, something his political life had buried under pressure and protocol. She wasn't impressed by his office or speeches. She laughed at his jokes, teased him about his prime minister charm, and reminded him that life could still be spontaneous. In return, Justin gave her something equally rare: stability without control. He didn't chase her for fame, and he didn't try to lead the spotlight. He simply matched her energy, respectfully, quietly, intentionally. Friends say he's the one who pursued her first, flying to California during her tour breaks just to spend a few hours together. It wasn't grand gestures, it was presence. For Trudeau, this wasn't a rebound. It was a reset, a chance to live outside the headlines, even as those same headlines followed him anyway. But as the story of their connection spread, one thing became clear. Both were healing in real time. And the world was watching every move, and that leads us to what came next, a moment that turned whispers into worldwide headlines. When those yacht photos hit the internet, Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau, relaxed, smiling, and kissing under the California sun, the world collectively gasped. It wasn't just that the pairing was unexpected, it was that they looked genuinely happy. This wasn't a publicity stunt or a staged red carpet moment. There were no handlers, no cameras in their faces, just 2 people comfortable in each other's company. For fans, it was almost disarming to see 2 global figures, both recently out of long-term relationships, share something so effortlessly warm. What really caught everyone's attention, though, was the chemistry. Witnesses described them as completely at ease, saying Katy couldn't stop laughing while Trudeau seemed more relaxed than he'd been in years. That easy connection, the same one friends kept mentioning, was now undeniable. Online, the reactions came fast and divided. Some fans were thrilled, calling them an unexpected power couple. Others were skeptical, wondering how 2 people from such different worlds could make it work. But deep down, most couldn't look away. There was something magnetic about the pairing. The pop star known for her heart-on-sleeve lyrics, and the politician famous for his charm and diplomacy. And maybe that's why it's resonating. Because beyond the glitz and gossip, this connection seems to symbolize something much deeper. Two people rediscovering joy after heartbreak, two lives colliding at exactly the right time. No one knows where it's heading, and neither reportedly do they. But as one insider put it, they're not defining it, they're just living it. And in a world obsessed with labels and headlines, maybe that's what makes this story so fascinating. Now that the world has seen Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau together, laughing, holding hands, and sharing quiet moments far from the cameras, one question lingers everywhere. What happens next? Neither of them has confirmed the relationship, but the silence only fuels the intrigue. Insiders hint that things are progressing naturally, with both Katy and Justin keeping things private while they figure out what this connection really means. After years of living under public scrutiny for their marriages, careers, and personal choices, it's no surprise they're guarding this one closely. Katy, still deep in her lifetime's tour, has learned to separate her heart from the headlines. And Justin, after stepping away from the pressures of political office, seems to be rediscovering who he is, not as a leader, but as a man. Together, they're two people trying to heal, to breathe, and maybe to believe in something new again. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite all the speculation, neither has made a public appearance together since those Santa Barbara photos. No joint interviews, no cryptic Instagram posts. Just silence, the kind that keeps fans guessing and tabloids spinning theories. Some insiders say they're taking it slow. Others whisper that it's already more serious than anyone realizes. But one thing's for sure, whatever happens next will unfold on their terms, not the internet's. And maybe that's the biggest mystery of all. In a world where every moment is broadcast and analyzed, could this be one of those rare celebrity connections that grows quietly, away from the noise? In the end, the story of Katy, Perry and Justin Trudeau feels like something out of a modern fairy tale. Two powerful figures from completely different worlds who somehow found each other when everything around them was falling apart. One is a pop icon who's turned heartbreak into art, and the other, a political leader who walked away from the world stage to rediscover himself. Their connection doesn't just surprise people, it fascinates them. Because it's not about fame, power, or headlines. It's about timing, vulnerability, and the strange way life brings two souls together when they least expect it. For Katy, it's a chapter of healing and rediscovery. For Justin, it's a moment to feel alive again after years of responsibility and restraint. And for everyone watching, it's a reminder that love doesn't follow rules. It can bloom between a California pop star and a Canadian ex-prime minister, miles away from politics, tours, and flashing cameras. So whether this is a fleeting spark or the start of something lasting, one thing's clear. Their story has already rewritten what we thought we knew about both of them. Because sometimes when two worlds collide, they don't crash. They create something entirely new.